I asked myself, what would I want to talk about for my book? And it would probably be today kind of um, how the photographs are chosen to be together, and for the sake of recording, I will probably slip in and out of coven language, which coven language would mean we're not real, we're not human, we don't have bodies, versus the avatar that has a brain and organs. Even though essentially you could just say, what is your organ, what is your body? Well, you're just vibrating so beautifully and luminously and with such force that you appear to have a human form. But I'll slip in and out of that language. And also for my autistic girlies out there, I will not mask. And so I'll say things like, I can hold several complex, contradicting ideas at one time and not have a problem with it, because you'll probably hear me say things that contradict each other, but my brain has already translated them internally so that they equal each other in different worlds. I will say patterns are really important to me, especially for understanding, and communication has often been one of my biggest hurdles. I see the world in shapes and sounds and colors, and when I try to verbalize that, sometimes it doesn't always translate, except for when something is very complex, like actual language translation and language interpreting. So when I do that across languages, because I'm the one making the leap for someone else, then it's not difficult. Or if I'm teaching something like the SAT, which I did in the past, I can often distill a repeating pattern until someone else sees it. But that's what I'm going to talk about with my photos today, and how I grouped them. And these are coming from an archive of like tens of thousands of photos. A lot of my photos, it doesn't matter if I took them in 2022 or yesterday, I do remember them. Coven Talk photographic memory is actually just access to the divine mind. And I kind of marked these up a little bit, and I'll talk about that. But when I grouped these photos for the Bible of New Orleans, my higher mind did it, not my brain. So the brain is an organ, but it's not meant to tell us what to do. So the higher mind found this. And for me, what I would tell someone that they might not see, or maybe they do, when I chose these images, I actually didn't know what I was doing because I relied on my higher mind. And sometimes it took a couple hours, a few minutes, or a couple days before my brain noticed what happened. So, for instance, these photos right here, they were taken at completely different times. And I grouped them, and then afterward I realized I am the shape of a house here. This is the house. And then we have these gorgeous, gorgeous flowers. Oh my God, spring in New Orleans is fabulous. And it creates the same, my arm with her creates that same feeling. So that is an example of patterns for me. So these photos are chosen because of their similar patterns. The same here. I think this one is very obvious, right? So she is in the shape of the flower. I am in the shape of the truck. And both objects contain, like, this is a journal and this is a newspaper. Here, this one has a lot for me. So my hand, my fingers are the columns. And this particular material that I'm wearing, to me, is like this texture and this color and the smoothness. And also my body is the body of the car, and my jeans are just like this lovely plant. I love these plants. A lot of my photos actually, I mean, all of these are places in New Orleans, and the plants, I can go back. I know where they are. I might not know the exact street, but I can make it back to them. This is off of St. Charles, actually. This group of photos I grouped probably in less than a minute, taken at different times. But this, in the moment, I realized cross, 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 cross. Here, this one, I mean, this child to me is like the flowers, like just peeking through, and everything is going on around the child. And then also my buttons are like the flower, and the flower petals on my skirt are like the flower, and the red and the red. I don't always do color, but obviously they have similar color schemes. And her lovely hand is the extension of my arm. Anyway, that's my first video talking about why the pages are built this way. There's so much to explain about this book. The content, the words, the meaning of the pictures themselves. But that was me starting to embarrass myself. Thank you.